In just 3 seasons, we have rebuilt Reading to being a Premier League club once again, all while using the Moneyball method as we look to try and steer away from the current financial woes that take on this once great club. And today we are looking to take that next step and possibly the hardest step in this rebuild, taking a lower half Premier League side to a Champions League side while using Moneyball. If you've never tried that before, don't underestimate it, because work permits are impossible to get around. So welcome to the Reading Moneyball episode 2 as we look to take them to the top of the Premier League. Now, for our first season in the Premier League, we were really lucky to stay up on the final day of the season thanks to a 2-point difference, and we did that while improving our defence massively. We signed Marasic, Vadkvist and Vagve in goal, keeping Boyce Clark as the goalkeeper from the start and Michael Craig in DM from the very start. But for this next step, we need to improve the attacking line. So for this season, I'm looking for a new striker, 2 new wingers, a new cam, a new DM, and a new attacking left back. So all the change, and I think it's only right. We start with one of my favourite signings, this striker position. We've got a new star. We have got out and signed one of the best young strikers in the game in Tony Majic. Well, at least based on his data, as this is a Moneyball rebuild, we need to be looking at the data before anything else, and this guy stands out for a multitude of different reasons. Number one, he scores lots of goals. He's in the top 95th percentile of goals scored per 90, with this season grabbing 22 goals in just 40 games. His non-penalty XG, also outrageous, 99th percentile, which means he's in the top 1% in the world when it comes to his non-penalty XG. He has lots of shots, he has them on target as well, and he wins lots of fouls. And when we're looking to see a game out, or we're looking for a striker's potential to win us a penalty, I didn't look any further than this man, Tony Majic, at just 21 years of age. In my opinion, he is almost the perfect striker for this next stage of the rebuild. He is decently paced, being 6'1". He is extremely consistent, great flair, first touch and technique. So to hold up that ball, to link it up well, which our striker has to do in this system, he is going to be brilliant. His finishing is 12, his composure is 13 at 21 years of age. That has room to grow, but I think it will as well. Last season was the first year he really broke out and became a goal scorer. That's why he cost us just £3.7 million. And I hope he's going to be the key to taking Reading to Europe. And he's going to be helped by this man, Alan Sosa, a 24-year-old Argentinian signed from Gimnasia. Now, this guy is an attacking demon, but also a creative masterpass. He has a 96th percentile shots on his shots on target. And in terms of creativity, 99th percentile as an advanced playmaker. You can see, looking through all of these stats, of its chances created, crosses completed, non-penalty expected assists, everything this guy excels at, and he's a great high presser as well, being in the 99th percentile for pressure attempts, which means we have got an absolute demon in the cam. And while his picture does look really old and like he's about 12, we have got a very good, experienced cam on our hands. Over 111 games in the Argentinian league. Mentally really strong, technically very talented, and physically pretty good as well, while being consistent and having that love for big matches. Costing us 9.25 million, one of our most expensive signings yet. Without this whole rebuild, we are not going to be spending more than 10 million on a single player, and Alan Sosa comes close to that at 9.2, but not quite. Now, he has had 3 seasons in a row, grabbing over 4 seasons, grabbing over a 7 average rating, the last season being his best. I'm very excited to have Alan on our hands. I think he could be a superstar. Before we get to the rest of the team, if you guys can, make sure you're smashing this like button and subscribing to the channel for more data analysis, Moneyball rebuilds, and of course, all the rebuilds we do here on the channel. You are sure to find something you love, and around 70% of you that are watching this right now are not subscribed. So hit that subscribe button, especially because you probably watched episode 1 as well. Even more reason to smash that subscribe button. Now, our left back signing is Leandro Lilo from Gil Vicente, and this was actually a fantastic piece of business as he was a free agent, which is an unbelievable signing, in my opinion. He is unreal in progressive passes in the 97th percentile, but defensively very, very solid as well. Whereas interceptions, clearances, blocks, or blocked shots, he is in the top 94% for every single one. And based on his Football Manager stats as well, he looks absolutely brilliant. Now, his stats for Gil Vicente didn't show too much of going forwards. His crosses wasn't amazing, his cross completers weren't great, but based on his stats, that is something which will massively improve once he gets into our team. He has 16 determination and 16 natural fitness as well, so it's going to be a true workhorse down the left-hand side, and as mentioned, a free contract as well. Nottingham Forest actually have signed him already in this rebuild from Kesapia, which is quite interesting. Didn't quite work out for him, and we got him in a free contract, and in my opinion, this is an unreal piece of business. And the same goes for our DM as well, Enzo Baranchea. Now, this guy is on loan, I believe, in Spain from Aston Villa in real life, and he is doing absolute wonders. So as soon as I saw this guy was available, I didn't even contemplate looking anywhere else. He ranks in the top 1% in passes completed and successful pressures. He is an unbelievable playmaker, but also a workhorse, and he does pretty much everything we could ever ask for our midfielder to do, especially when paired with someone like Michael Craig in this DM position, who's much better at the defensive side of things. Enzo Baranchea is the legs in the middle and that playmaking player. And he cost us just £3.6 million as well, which is just an absolute steal. Onto our right wing signing, we have signed Uros Kabic from Crvena Zvezda. Now, this guy's stats do not jump out majorly when looking into the data. He is just very, very well rounded, and we found that with a lot of the wingers we signed in episode number 1. If you haven't watched episode 1 yet and you're here to watch the Premier League journey, I'd recommend going to watch episode 1 because there were some unbelievable Moneyball signings in there. This guy is very good on the ball and I've got very good finishing, and if we actually look at him on FM, his stats are really, really strong, and he's really, really well rounded. He is consistent, he likes big matches, got them well rounded stats, and has had a very good output in the last 2 seasons for Crvena Zvezda. 16 goal contributions last year, 12 the year before that, and does look like he's getting better and better. And I think he could be one of the stars of this rebuild, to be honest. I don't know if we replace him all the way until we become a Champions League club, because the way his stats are going to grow, being just 23 years of age and being as consistent as he is, he could be a star. And the exact same goes for Nemanja Trifunovic as well, signed from Partizan. 2 players from Serbia are 2 new wingers. This guy does like to get shots off on goal and does like to attempt and complete crosses, but again, his stats don't absolutely scream out unreal talent. But when you look into his FM stats, I think he is a really strong player, very good in big matches, decent speed, good technical stats, good mentals, also 23 years of age, and cost us just a measly £3.3 million. Now, financially as a club, we are doing okay. We have £50 million in the bank, and debt-wide there is just £1.7 million of transfer debt. So we're doing very well with that. Now, I have always done Moneyball rebuilds where we have to raise more money than we spend. That hasn't been possible just yet. From the very start of this rebuild, we have sort of been on a trajectory of having to spend a little bit more than we would like to. £26 million spent in this rebuild, raising just £1.9 million, mainly on the loan deal of Amadou Mbenge, which is really good for us. And I think something that will change, especially in this episode, is where we'll start to now potentially sell players on for some pretty big money. We're going to become an established Premier League side. Clubs from Saudi Arabia are going to want some of our players. We're going to be able to raise quite a lot of money, and I think that's sort of what comes with these Moneyball rebuilds. When we get bigger, we make bigger money, but we have to keep replacing them with them bargains. It changes quite a lot from trying to constantly improve the team to be a better team to needing to replace the players that leave and go on to bigger and better things. And that's when these rebuilds get really, really interesting. And I think episode 2 will probably be the most interesting and challenging one of this whole entire rebuild. Now, there was one other signing in this season, and that was Sean Claber coming in from Bromby. I do think it's important in FM especially to bring in some of the more experienced heads as well, and that's why I brought in Sean Claber. He cost us £2 million, is a really good right back, to be honest. Great crossing, decent enough speed, good defensively, experience in some top teams as well, like Ajax, Utrecht and Bromby, and now comes to England as an experienced right back option. Absolutely no surprise that we are predicted to be 1,000 to 1 to win the league and 20 20th this season. We scraped through last season, finishing in 17th place. If we actually look at the season last year, 10 wins, 4 draws, 24 losses, and negative 26 goal difference. So we're going to try and improve that. We're going to try. I'm aiming for the magic 40 points tally for this season. I think that would be classed as very successful and something we can definitely do. So let's see how we get on for season 1 in this episode, but season 5 overall. Now this season, we've done a really good job at showing that we had gone clear from the real relegation scrap of the Premier League. This game is up against Burnley. Earlier on in the season, we beat them 5-1 at home. This time we are away from home at Turf Moor, already 2 goals up, a penalty from Baranchea and Magic grabbing the second. Cabbage then going to grab the third after an assist from Wagway from right back. Michael Craig, another unreal ball out to that attacking wing back in Wagway. Guess what? Low cross. Always the case on FM. That's 4-0 in 26 minutes. We're going to grab a fifth as well. A long cross whipped in. James Trafford punches it out. Baranchea finds Trifunovic. Back to Baranchea. And Tony Magic showing that goal-scoring real class to make a fifth in this game. We are going to get caught on the counter-attack, however, from Burnley to make it 5-1. I would say quite a lucky goal in the end. Brownhill scoring, putting it into the back of the net. But a 6th and our biggest win of the season comes against Burnley, as we beat them 11-2 on aggregate, which is just so embarrassing. And to be honest, based on how the season started, I really wasn't hopeful on how this season would go. While we did beat Chelsea 1-0 in the opening day of the season, thanks to a 1-0 and a goal from Tony Magic, we started to get battered, especially by the bigger teams, and then lost to Cardiff in the Carabao Cup. And I really was convinced this was not going to be the year for us, and we'd potentially be going back down to the Championship. But we went on an unbeaten run in September. We beat Sunderland 4-0 in October, won 3 out of 5 in November, and 3 out of 5 in December. And despite a very, very poor January, our start to the season showed me there was enough to go safe this season. And that's exactly what we done, and we exceeded our points tally target of 40 and went to 50 instead and became a mid-table Premier League club. And Burnley, who we beat 11-2 on aggregate, come in 13th. So Wolves, Sunderland and Fulham must be absolutely awful. The winners of this championship is Liverpool, and they have won the last 2 as well. City won 2, Arsenal won 1. City coming 2nd, Spurs coming 3rd, Arsenal 4th, and Bournemouth up into 5th. Potentially a new powerhouse on the radar. And my club, Manchester United, you know what? 5th or 4th, massive dub for them, fair play. But for us at Reading, a fantastic second season in the Premier League, and that second season syndrome, we are likely to get relegated. We proved we are not having any of that. I'm interested to see if we were going to be in some of these. I wasn't expecting the goal scorers one. We were 8th place in terms of goal scorers. I was expecting us in the defended one, because we have been really good defensively throughout this rebuild. We fall just short actually on 57. I say just short, 10 goals short. We conceded quite a lot of goals. So maybe the defence is something to be improved. But good to see that we made a lot of attacking improvements this season. And that certainly showed with the goals scored as well. And when you look generally into the data, that is something we are looking to certainly improve on then, isn't it? Because goals-wise, we were above average, to conceded-wise below average. And sort of to be expected based on how our transfer window went. But good to see that we are improving the right positions and making steady progress. Now, it wasn't a completely groundbreaking season for Tony Magic, but grabbing 11 goals and 1 assist in 32 Premier League games in your first ever season in the league is pretty impressive. It did just convert to a 6.74, but I think it's safe to say this was a really good signing. And if we were to cut our losses or potentially move on to a more powerful striker, I think we could still get money for him. Good profit even. Not that I'm thinking of doing that, by the way, after just 1 season. But I'm just saying, I think it was a good signing. He might not have broke the game, but a very good Moneyball piece of business for just £3 million. And speaking of Moneyball signings, Musa Wagway, I think, proves exactly why Moneyball can be so overpowered. This guy is 29 years of age. He was signed at 28 years of age last season. Now, he had back-to-back seasons getting over a 7 average rating in Greece with Panseriakos. I don't know who they are, to be honest. They're not a massive club. We know that much. He has been through the Barcelona Academy, etc. though, so has got previous big-time experience. And this season showed exactly why he's got that experience as well, why he was signed by Barcelona back in 2018, because he is a superstar and he's someone that I would never sign in FM. I would never look for this player, a 28-year-old right back at the time, and go and sign them on a free contract. It's just not something that's normally done. You go for the 20-year-old wonder kid. Well, Moneyball proves you can go out there and sign your older free agents, and they will be really good. And Musa Wagwe is doing exactly that. In terms of other stars, David Lekalume with 4 goals in 11 games, with a 6.96 is really impressive. Shout out to the guy from Mauritius in the comments of episode 1 who was shocked to see a Mauritian player. Well, shout out to you, and shout out to David, because he is a Mauritian superstar at 20 years of age. He hasn't quite... How has this guy not made a cap for the national team yet? I'm sorry. The Mauritian team, the captain, plays for CA Vintry, who are a club, I'm going to guess, in Mauritius. I mean, in France. Okay, he's a semi-professional French footballer, but my Cam playing for Reading hasn't played a game yet. Maybe he's holding off. He could get English? I mean, that's pretty shocking. This guy hasn't actually gone for the Mauritian nationality yet, which is weird to see, but at 20 years of age, he's got a long time to go. Dario Moresic with 39 games, Bendito Mantato, just a few games this season, but done well when he played. Enzo Baranchea, why he was let go to us for £3.7 million, I've got no idea. He's fantastic. 6.94. Kanaya still doing bits in goal as well, and Michael Craig still doing bits in DM. It's great to see we have got 2 players from the Reading team doing bits in the Premier League. Michael Craig being number 1 and Kanaya in goal being number 2. Officially now the Jamaican starting goalkeeper as well. What an absolute legend this guy's been from the very start of this rebuild. The progression we've seen in him as well has been really, really impressive over the whole rebuild. 3s and a bunch of mental stats, 2s in some of the technicals, even physically getting better. All just really, really good things to see. In terms of players that didn't improve so much this season, I mean, in terms of lots of games, Uros Kabic played 33 with just a 6.73, which is not good enough in my opinion. Jovan Cabral, of course, was a superstar signing at the end of episode 1. Kind of replaced this season due to his age. And I think I'm going to try and sell him and get the money for him. I made a big deal out of him in episode 1 because we signed him for free and he was brilliant. I think, though, at 29... it's time to try and extract some value out of some of these players. And I think we can do that with a lot of our players as well. If we do look at the age profile of some of the players we've signed, I mean, even our best player this season, Musa Wagwe, could be another one. Lewis Wing, potentially someone to move on from, has done really well, though, to get us to this point. Linus Valkvist, someone to potentially take that £8 million. Lilo is really good this season, 9 million. Van Hunk, £9 million. Moresic, Baranchea, probably not yet. And then we've still got a bunch of young players as well, which are going to progress into really top-tier talents. In terms of the Youth Academy, we have got some players in the first team, but another one here is Dan Popple. Probably not going to make it into the first team. We'll see, though. But overall, for this summer, I think our plan is pretty clear. Try and make this team that next level and get possibly the Conference League is my aim. A big transfer budget, of course, not going to spend anywhere near that. And I think it's time to potentially make some big sales. Now, as mentioned, this season would be the first season of making some big sales. Dario Moresic has left the club to go to Saudi for £10.5 million. A fantastic free agent signing. But when that money comes in and he's not going to reject Saudi, we have to try and move on. And the same goes for Musa Wagwe. I have moved him on despite his 2 very good seasons for us. Again, raising £7.75 million for a 29-year-old. That is kind of his max value. And again, it's about extracting as much you can out of your squad when players get to a certain level, or if you get big money come in for someone, selling them at the right point. I think this was the correct point to move on from Wagwe. Also sold Jovan Cabral to Torino, making £6 million after 2 years. Sydney Van Hooydonk has left and joined Parma for £4 million. Bestful Zanelli has also left. It seems like all the legends are leaving as he joins Werder Bremen for 3.5. Unreal player in the Championship, not quite ready for the step up to the Premier League. Hopefully, the second tier of Germany, he becomes a great player. And finally, our first signing of this entire rebuild after 120 games, Yosuke Furukawa leaves to join Wolfsburg for 550k. Now, we did technically make a 3 times loss on this, but I think we've extracted everything we can out of him, and he's going to go to Wolfsburg. I don't think he'll be very good in the top tier of Germany, but he's done very well for us. 120 games, 20 goals, 500k. It's someone to move on. And that leaves these positions able to be improved. A brand new right back to replace Wagwe, a brand new centre back to replace Marusic, another brand new DM I have signed, and I've signed another striker. I wasn't 100% convinced with Tony Magic. I'm not moving on from him. He's the backup striker, potentially Rota. I can't tell who's going to start. And that's why we're going to go straight into this position first. Because it's someone that you guys who have watched the channel for over a year now will know that I absolutely love. It's Vladislav Vanyat, a Ukrainian striker from Dynamo Kiev. I used to sign him so often. Every Moneyball Rebuild, I'd come to him because he is a bagsman on this game. But I've never used him in the Premier League, and we're going to have to see what he's like. Now, in terms of his goal scoring stats, they are outrageous. He's scored 16 in 34. He's 26, so slightly more experienced. And very similar to when we signed Magic from Dynamo Kiev. He excels in his goal scoring stats, and that's pretty much it, other than fouls won. I have won Champions Leagues with this guy before. 38 games a season being that guy is very difficult, as we saw from Magic. Now, in terms of his stats, good finishing, good determination, good speed, 6 foot tall, consistent, and it cost us just £5.75 million. This was his first year getting over a 7 average rating and a slightly smaller game sample size. So he might have had a nerf actually, considering when we last used him. But I saw the name, I saw the data, and we've signed Vanyat. And then when it comes into this brand new central defensive midfielder, it is a signing which I just couldn't pass up on. He is 19 years of age. He is a Serbian DM signed from Vojvodina. His name is Nikola Stojadanovic. Now, he's decent going forward. He's very good on the ball. He's decent defensively, but his stats on FM are an absolute joke. And I think he could be one of them £100 million DMs in the future, potentially. Unreal physically, great mentals, great technicals at 20, consistent, and cost us just £1.7 million. I think he's an unreal player. I genuinely think this is the sort of DM which goes on FM to become like a Barcelona level DM after signing him at a lower club, giving him loads of game time. I think with some of the cross, a hidden gem. At centre-back, to replace Dario Marusic, we have signed Thomas Christensen from Udinese with a value of just £4 million. Now, very similar to Marusic, this guy is unbelievable defensively. Key tackles and headers won is in the top 1% in the world, and also a very good ball progressing centre-back. He partners perfectly with Valkvist. He is 26 years of age, and he is extremely consistent. And our final starting signing is Nico Sigur, the right-back who is replacing Musa Vagwe. This guy is also very good going forward. Really good progressive passes, really good defensively, good goals outside the box, which is a weird stat to have, but we'll certainly take it. And is a bit more of a defensive player, but again, going into our system, similar to Leandro Lilo, his crossing stats will improve massively. He's 24. The reason his ball progressing is so good, he can also play in central midfield. Signed from Hajduk last season, 6 goals, 10 assists in 47 games. He cost us just £3.5 million, and his stats are so well-rounded, and also a Canadian international, which is pretty cool. And for our final signing, I've signed Saif Eden Lazar. I think I've been baited into the fact that he sounds like Eden Hazard. He's from KRC Genk. If I'm not mistaken, that's the team Hazard come through. Let me know in the comments down below if that is correct. This guy looks really, really good though. Great physicals, great technicals, great mentals. Had his breakout year last year at Genk. 7 goals, 4 assists, a 7.07 and 29 games. And that is your Reading team. Now, in terms of our transfers, we sold £32 million, spent £21 million. So we are starting to right the wrongs and starting to sell players for some pretty decent money. I wouldn't be surprised again this season if we finish around the mid-table spot. We're again 1,000 to 1. We are using Moneyball. We are never going to be ranked very highly by the media because we're looking at, say, our star players. They aren't game-breakingly good. Enzo Baranchea and Stojanovic are both very well-rounded. Sosa and Cam, well-rounded. There's no one in this team that has that killer factor, so we're never going to really be placed in that 16th, 15th, and then overachieve into the top half. until we get that man. But for now, I'm very, very happy. I think the squad is very strong, and I think we're again going to upset the odds. And that is exactly what happened in this season. It's going to be a very, very quick season because it's basically the exact same as last season, to be honest. We have a little bit more consistency to us. We finished on 54 points, a positive goal difference, 15 wins, 14 losses, and 9 draws. Not much change in our points tally, but some clear progression, which is very good to see, and also good to see in terms of our goals conceded that we are now conceding just 54, which is 3 better off than last season, because we've lost our star centre back and our star right back, replaced them pretty well. I'm very, very happy. Our data hub looks a little bit better in terms of conceded. I mean, it's literally the exact same, nearly. It's very weird how similar this season was. In terms of goals scored, Vladislav Vanya done very, very similar to what Tony Magic done last season. 11 goals, 2 assists, 40 games. I'm not sure what we're doing up front, to be honest. I'm not sure if I need to start another one or I don't know. It looks like Vanya started basically every single game and Magic was the rotational striker. I don't know what we do up there, to be honest, because neither of them have that killer instinct. We might need to try and really find someone, but using Moneyball, we have a very limited pool of finding players, and we're going to have to see what we can do. Alan Sosa in the cam, really good, 15 goal contributions. Uros Kabic also having a much better season. First season, it was a 6.62. This season, a 6.84. Signing of £3.8 million worth now 30 is really, really good. Baranchea, again, being really good. Trifunovic having a decent year. Nikola Stojdanovic, 5 goal contributions, 20 starts, 12 for the bench. This is what I mean. This guy's stats are going to grow and grow and grow. Now 3 caps for Serbia. Value of £50 million. Signed for 1.7. One of them signings where when you see them, you just simply can't turn them down. Thomas Christiansen, a really good centre-back signing, 6.87 for him. But our best player, once again, was Kanaya Boyce-Clark, a 7.05 average rating. We have taken this guy from a League One goalkeeper to a Premier League goalkeeper, and he deserves to be here as well, a 7.05. That's his second best season, other than our championship third place finish. That is his best season, which is amazing to see. So fair play to Kanaya, our goalkeeper, and an absolute legend. As mentioned, this is going to be a very, very quick season, so we'll quickly touch on the financial side of things. We're up to £131 million in the bank. The board are throwing more and more money at us, but the one thing that is very good to see is that when we check our salary per annum against anyone else in the league, we are massively overachieving. We are spending just £40 million, probably behind my face cam, to be honest. We're spending £40.9 million. Luton then betting 70. Mid-table around 140. So we are 3 times less spending than where we are finishing. The top is at 361. Net transfer spend sitting in 15th place as well. So we really are executing Moneyball to a very, very high standard, which is awesome to see. We're overachieving. We're doing what we have to do, similar to likes of Brentford and what they've done in recent years in real life. But we now need to try and make that step that Brentford haven't quite made in real life and take them to being a European side on a consistent basis and really becoming a battler for the Premier League. And that's the hardest bit of this rebuild. Now, getting some goals into this team was my main worry. I can see that we're scoring them, but not on a high enough basis, and we don't have them standout players. So a brand new striker is going to come in despite signing back-to-back Vanya and Tony Magic, and a brand new right winger as well to potentially replace Trifanovic, and Kabic goes out to left wing. And the man that I've signed for that position is Emre Goke, and he's actually going to left wing, and Kabic is staying on right wing. This guy is exactly what we need. He is a goal scoring threat, and he is a dribbling and crossing threat as well. Chances created 98th percentile, dribbles made 98th percentile, shots on target he's really good, shots he's really good, shots inside the box he's great. 16 goal contributions, 42 games for Sivasspor in Turkey, and also someone that presses very high as well. Ranks in the 99th percentile for a winger and indirect, and even as like a wing back, he ranks very highly. So that shows what a wide threat this guy is. Technically very gifted, mentally very gifted, and physically pretty good as well. And on FM, it's a no-brainer. This guy looks absolutely fantastic. He's a free kick taker as well, which is something we don't yet have. Really good physically, great flair, 23 years of age, and cost us £9.75 million. It is the most expensive signing, and it is the most expensive signing we can possibly make we just about got it over the line. The season before last, he turned into more of a goal scorer as well, showing that he has got that ability to do that. And the season before that was his best at a 7.61. So he's been on the rise consistently, and I think it's time for him to come to England and really make a name for himself. And the exact same goes for our striker as well in Franciliano Diu. He is a 24-year-old Guinea-Bissauan striker from FC Midtjylland with outrageous pace. And the best thing about him, he's an absolute goal scorer. Again, 16 goals in 34 games. Very similar, but it stands out a lot more in the goal fronts than Vanja or Tony Magic ever did, and he's certainly listed as a finisher. Now, he has cost us £8 million, but I think it's a good signing, and I think he's the sort of player we need to take us in that goal scoring form. And I think he's the sort of player we need who can score lots of goals and take us to that next level. Now, the reason we are bringing in a new centre-back in this squad is because Linus is now 32 years of age, and I think we need to try and find someone to partner Christensen. And the player that I'm bringing in to do that is Waylon Reneke, a player that was released from Norwich in 2023, ended up at Stoke, and on this save has ended up at Copenhagen and turned into a fantastic centre-back. At 23 years of age, he's English, massive dub, 23, 6'2", and a strong defender with unreal ball progressing again. So we now have two centre-backs who can progress the ball, because we can finally move on to having them as ball-playing defenders. He's really good attacking-wise as well. Non-penalty goals per 90, 84th percentile. Unreal in terms of progression. For some reason, likes to cross the ball, but defensively, really strong. And when you look at his stats on FM, he's worth getting excited about. Great physicals, good defensive, good mentals. 23, 9 caps for the English under-21s. And I think he's a great signing for just £6.5 million back-to-back now with above a 7 average rating. Is at Denmark, is at Copenhagen in real life as well, which is a very cool but random signing. And has broken into their main team now. Has had a good season in the Championship as well. A 6.99 in 43 games is outstanding in the Championship. One of the hardest leagues in the game. And he excelled there as well. So I think for £6.5 million, we've got an absolute steal, because if this guy was still in the Championship, he'd probably be about 30 million. And finally, the right back we have signed is Noah Mikic. Now, this guy is a very standard Moneyball signing. He cost us just £2.8 million and is very good at going forward. You can see his stupid physical stats, his great crossing and dribbling, his love of big matches, and his consistency. Cap for Croatia already, and is just a bit of a no-brainer. He's someone which, as soon as I see his name, I know I need that position. £2.8 million, a very worth signing to bring in. Nico Segur will be a great rotation option for him as well. And I think for the first time in this rebuild, I'm happy with the rotation of the squad and the actual squad. Kanaya Boyce-Clark in goal and Pennery as the backup goalkeeper, not Boyce Clark. Pennery is someone that has come through the youth academy and was very correctly pointed out in the first episode. This guy had 5-star potential and was listed as a wonder kid. Hasn't quite got onto that. I kept him as our backup because of registration rules. I've kind of had to. He is still 18. He is consistent. He is 6'4". He has good stats on FM. I just think we've got our star goalkeeper, and I don't think he's ever going to become that guy. Mikic and Sigur, very good backups. Christensen and Valkvist and Lekovic and Reneke. We haven't touched on Lekovic, have we? He's a brand new signing from this season, also signed from Crvena Zvezda. Back-to-back seasons above a 7. £3.9 million. He's a bit of a brute at centre-back, but a very good one to bring in. Apologies, I've not mentioned him yet. Leandro Lilo and Benedito Mantato are still our two left-backs. Baranchea, Michael Craig rotating with Stojanovic, and Federico Redondo, another one I've not touched on because I'm an idiot. A signing from Inter Miami, an Argentinian DM, £6.5 million. Great at going forward, back-to-back seasons, being a danger in the box, and is very good on this game. Very well-rounded. A bit of a rotation for Stojanovic at 21. He needs that, and I think he's a really good player for that. Moving on to the attacking line, we have Uros Kabic and we have Lazar from last season. Left wing-wise, we have Trifunovic and Emre, Camrise, Sosa and David Lekulume, and up front, Diu and Vladislav Vanyat. And I think at the start of our Premier League campaign, would have been okay with this starting lineup. To be able to now have the starting lineup we have got just shows the growth of this Reading side, to the point where we now have two teams which are both surviving the Premier League and are now pushing for European football. And that is my goal for this season. I want to also be able to show you something in the FA Cup and Carabao Cup as well, as there's not even been like a semi-final to get excited about in them, and that would be nice to do. We're officially off 20th place, which is great. We are into 19th. The players of this is actually really interesting to see. Kobbie Mainoo has become one of the best midfielders in the... Wow. What a player Kobbie is at this time. Wow, I've never seen him progress that well. Rice, Martinelli and Saka all still in there. Angelo up front for Liverpool from Al Nassr. I believe, doesn't he start at Chelsea normally? Gone to Al Nassr now. And Liverpool started on the 3. He looks unbelievable up front. Haaland, of course, still here. Trubin in goal for Newcastle. A crazy value on him. Saborius is a regen from Greece. £237 million. Saliba, Gvardiol and Udogie. Cool to see just 2 City players in there, 1 Liverpool player, 1 United player, 5 Arsenal players and a Spurs player as well. Quite a lot of difference in that team, which is quite cool to see. But I think that just shows exactly what we're up against in the Premier League. To get into that top 7, top 8 and get European football is not going to be easy, as every team has improved massively. And well, it's these games that we have to start showing our dominance in. Games against Brentford. And boy, are we about to show some dominance. Our new striker getting off to a great start in just 40 seconds in this game. A corner ball then whipped in, and Reneke getting his on the end of it to make it 2-0 in this one. A third going to come in the first half as Michael Craig finds Lilo. Kabic finds Emre Goke. A real showing of our brand new signings in this one. 3-0 in 39 minutes. Followed up by Noah Mikic driving down the right-hand side, whipping the ball in. You never guess what? A front post own goal from a low-driven corner. We love to see it. Noah Mikic playing the ball down the line. Emre Goke on the ball once again, whipping it in, back stick. Laser not quite getting there, but Franciliano making it 5-0, and a 6th coming against the original Moneyball gangsters. Well, we're going to absolutely put them down. Leandro Lilo getting to the byline, Sosa finishing it off, and Reading, well, we're now the Moneyball team in the Premier League. Brentford dispatched of, moved on from. We're the team now looking to take Moneyball to Europe. And we saw a lot of that form throughout the first half of the season as well. We were just looking to carry that on into the second. Now, January was quite difficult. 2 losses, 2 wins and a draw. And February, well, it started pretty rough, but something seemed to click. We beat Wolves, Leeds and Spurs 5-0 in the FA Cup 5th round. A competition we got to the 6th round in, and we ended up losing to Southampton in extra time, which is absolutely heartbreaking. But that meant we could concentrate on the Premier League and our push for European football. We drew against Arsenal, we beat Fulham, we beat Villa, we beat Brighton, we lost to Forest, we beat Sheffield United, we then drew 0-0 to Brentford away from home. A game we just won 6-0 in. We then beat Liverpool 2-0 on the penultimate day of the season. Lost to Chelsea on the last. But we had done enough to get Reading into European football for the first time, possibly ever. Let me know, Reading fans, down in the comments down below if you've been in Europe before. If not, at least for 20 odd years now, 2030, 2010. Reading are in European football. 56 points, level with Bournemouth, Chelsea, Reading and Forest. Chelsea on that final day of the season beat us 3-1. If there was another goal in it that have beat us on goal difference, that have also beat us on head-to-head, and we wouldn't be in Europe. So, the gods were on our side. On 56 points, we are Conference League. And if you know anything about me, you know I love that competition because it is the easiest competition to win on FM, especially if we're a team that's able to score 70 goals in the Premier League. That is very, very impressive. We are really starting to show our goal scoring dominance, and a lot of that has been helped by having a bunch of players now scoring a bunch of goals. Number one to point out, Tony Magic out on loans last year at Genoa in Italy. 15 goals, 2 assists. Very, very impressed. Nemanja Trifunovic, 12 and 8. Emre Goke, 12 and 11. Alan Sosa, 11 and 3. Franciliano, 11 and 0. 6.66. That striker position is proving very, very difficult to really get a bunch of goals out of. But our cams have managed to step up this season and improve massively. Federico Redondo played lots of games this year. 11 goal contributions, a 7.01 average rating. Thomas Christensen, a 7.05. Emre Goke, a 7.08. Leandro Lilo, a 7.06. Nemanja, a 7.04. Nico Sigor as the rotational right back with Mikic, both grabbing over a 7. both grabbing 13 assists combined and 4 goals from Mikic as well, which is lovely to see. Kanaya still doing bits. Waylon Reneke, 6.98, £30 million value now. I love this signing. I don't know why I love this signing, but this guy seems really, really cool. He seems very, very happy as well. A happy chappy leading the Reading defence is awesome to see. We are in the Conference League. It has taken us 7, maybe 8 seasons, 7 seasons, I believe it's taking us to get to this point. But it's a point that I'm proud to be at. And I think it's 4 seasons in the Premier League, maybe 5, to take them from bottom to 7th. So a nice steady growth while using the Moneyball method. The only thing I'm worried about is potentially now some of our players getting pinched. Like Emre Goke, who's been here for a season and is now wanted by Al Ittihad. And if that sort of money comes in for him, I can't really reject it. That's the sad reality of Moneyball. Alan Sosa, £47 million value. Stojanovic, 48. Cabbage, 38. Kanaya Boyce is going nowhere. I don't care what else I get for him. Trivonovic, 42. Christensen, 35. Reneke, 33. Seagull, 34. Lilo at 30. 31 million. I mean, that's ridiculous. We might have to see what we can do here. I mean, even Michael Craig now a £28 million value, still playing 41 games as he helps Reading get to Europe. And it seems like the youth facilities here are doing their job as well, as we have some good young players coming through. Paul Hickey is a good young wing-back. Shiloh Cheshire, a good young centre-back. Charlie Pelling, a very good young centre-back as well. And Herve Makengo, a great central defensive midfielder. The board have improved the youth recruitment from 1.5 star to now 2.5 star, which is actually a massive upgrade. If we get that to 4 star by the end of this rebuild, we'll have one of the best youth academies in Premier League, really, because that'll be really, really good for us. And with Moneyball, I mean, teams like Brentford have sort of ditched the youth approach, or did anyway to start off with, and we can hopefully do both at the same time, which would be absolutely huge. Next season, though, I want that Conference League trophy. I want to be a European champion. But I'm not sure if that's going to be possible, because we've been scalped of our 2 wingers this season. Straight away, Emre Goke leaves the club to go and join Al Ittihad on £500,000 a week. But we did raise £35.5 million, and the most expensive signing of £9.75 million in just one season gets flipped into 35. And sadly, that's kind of the point, is that we make lots of money by selling the players that overachieve. And Emre Goke, thank you for your service, but you're off to earn a lot of money. But he wasn't the most expensive sale of this season, as Nemanja Trifunovic leaves to go and join Al Nassr, and Cristiano, probably not Cristiano Ronaldo in 2030, actually, on 350k a week. This guy has been very good now for 3 seasons. Last year had his best season. We raised £43.5 million. There was also the sale of the player that I basically got baited into, because I thought it was going to be Eden Hazard, safe Eden Hazard, who has left to join Augsburg. We have doubled the money on him, despite him playing just 42 games for us. Which means our wing positions have taken an absolute battering, so I need to improve them and then bring in some better rotational players that can help us in Europe. But first off, the wingers. And the number 1 signing is David Martinez from LAFC. This guy, I think, could be the next big sale. He could be the player that comes in, breaks the match engine again, and leaves like Emre Goke, because he ranks the 99th percentile for key passes and open play key passes. He ranks in the top at minimum 95 in dribbles made, open play crosses, crosses completed, crosses attempted, chances created, and expected assists. He is unreal on the press and has lots of shots. He is absolutely brilliant. He has also just finished the last 2 seasons and even the last 5 seasons above a 7.19, including a 7.65 and a 7.47. £7.25 million is what he has cost. Is he ready to take that talent to the Premier League? We'll have to find out. And for the opposite wing, we have Feder Rivas from Juventus, but on loan at Sassuolo. And this guy is more of a well-rounded player. 35 games, 16 goal contributions, 5'10", 6'3", much better in terms of goal scoring output, but going forwards, slightly less direct and quick as the winger, more of that inside forward traditional type. Still presses very well, 91st percentile in pressures attempted. Dribbles made, he's still good, but not in the top 1% like David Martinez. But in terms of non-penalty goals per 90, goals outside the box, non-penalty goals and non-penalty XG per 90, 88th percentile, non-penalty goal shots, 88th percentile. And you can see here a lot more of a finisher compared to David Martinez, who was much more of the winger and a direct archetype. It literally complete opposite. 2 and 99 compared to, this is very difficult to type and do this at the same time, compared to 92 and 73. So we've got a really good balance in terms of our wingers, and looks really, really good on FM as well. He comes through the academy of Atletico Nacional in Colombia if you want to sign him on your saves. He was scouted by Juventus, went on loan to Sassuolo, and has scored got 13 goal contributions and a 7.05. Come to us for £7.75 million. And very similarly, could be off to the big Saudi money in a couple of seasons, but hopefully he stays here and becomes a star. Now, in case both of them didn't work out, I signed a couple of other wingers, potentially for the future or for now. Ozan Mirkovic is here from Shikaki. He costs just £2.5 million, which is why I was happy to sign him without having the work permit, because I could flip him right now for £14 million. But I think this guy will be very good in the future and will eventually get a work permit. And the same goes for Joel Mvuka as well. This guy is 27, doesn't have the work permit, but costs us just £3.2 million and has been really good in terms of his ability over the last 3 seasons from Lillestrøm, and looks really, really good, really, really quick, good consistency. If he doesn't get that work permit, it's £3 million. We're at a point where we're now having transfer windows selling over 100, so it's not that big of a deal. My only other 2 signings were backup centre-backs. Number 1 is Namdi Collins, signed from Legia for just £2.5 million. And young Bosnian left-back Haris Sehovic, signed from SV Reyes. Very quick, good going forward, decent defensively, great mentals, consistent, and cost us just £3.6 million. And that is the Reading side, all built, all made and ready to take us into Europe. Your starting 11 looks a little bit like this, with Franciliano up top, Martinez and Rivas as the 2 wingers, Sosa as the cam, Stojanovic and Baranchea still staying as our DM partnership, with Lilo, Mikic, Christensen, Renike and Boyce Clark in goal. Conference League, European trophies, well, they're coming to Reading. Another gentle reminder to make sure that you, yes you, are liked and subscribed to the channel, because it helps me out massively and you don't miss the next part of this incredible Reading journey. But this second part will not stop until Reading are a Champions League club, and a good way to get there is to win the Conference League and then eventually build up a stronger squad and get into it through the league or through winning the Europa League. Now, our first attempt in the Conference League, the league phase, domination, 16 points, 5 wins, 1 draw to do regrets. We are a pretty good side. And we were faced with a very tough challenge in the run of 16 as well, as we faced up against Saint Etienne, who have been on a bit of a fallen giant rise of their own. We did beat them 4-3 on aggregate, just to clarify, but are back in the big time. They finished 7th in Ligue 1 this season, but are knocked out to us in the run of 16 of the Conference League. And then we faced Brøndby in the quarterfinals and drew the first leg 1-1, so we had to come away from home and turn on the style. Namdi Collins on the right-hand side found new right winger David Martinez in the box to make it 1-0 in this game. And the second is going to come in the 33rd minute, again from Namdi Collins, this time in the back of the net. A third is going to come quick and fast in the first half. Baranchea finding Rivas, finding Franciliano. Almost like a very light finesse into the top left corner. A corner ball comes in next. Baranchea backstick. Waylon Renike leaping above his man for 4-0 and eventually a 5-0 domination. The Mauritian David Lacoume hits the post from his free kick. Tony Majic back in the squad and finishing at home for 5-0 as we advance to the semi-finals, where we absolutely battered OH Leuven 7-3. An absolutely embarrassment in the semi-finals. Rivas grabbing 2, Sosa, Christensen and Renike scoring once again. Through to the final, but it's not easy. We've got Lazio. But we absolutely dominated this game with 17 shots to their 6 and 62% possession. And when their goalkeeper is doing awful things like that, well, it's always going to be an easy game. A 1 goal got us off in the 74th minute, and in the 80th minute, Harisevic found Rivas for 2-0, and that was the game done. A simple 2-0 victory, a dominating victory, and Reading, we lift the Conference League. And we're lucky that we did as well, because we fell off a little bit in the league by a singular point, but that dropped us all the way down into 10th place. We have now finished on 54, 56 and 55 points for 3 seasons consecutively, and having a very good goal difference this season. In fact, I believe our best yet. 4 draws, 17 losses, 17 wins, our most wins in a season yet for sure, and our best goal difference as well. Goals wise, 76 goals scored this season. Still not doing great defensively, but we are turning into a true goal scoring side. And that's because we've officially got 2 strikers scoring a bunch of goals. Franciliano scoring 21 and Tony Magic scoring 15. 2 strikers scoring goals. Well, I've actually found 3, because Van Aert has gone on loan like Tony Magic last season and scored 14 goals once again at Dynamo Kiev. So I don't know if that's just where his level is at, but it looks like we have done very well with our striker scouting. Eventually, it has paid off. And in terms of replacing the wingers that went, we've done unreal at that as well. David Martinez, 28 goal contributions. Fernando Rivas, 25. Both again worth up to £50 million. David Martinez wants to ready by Al Nassr. What a surprise. Maybe he'll be off this season after just a single year. Alan Sosa, 14 goal contributions. Enzo Baranchea, 19, worth £62 million. This guy is an absolute demon in DM. Waylon Renike, 7 goals. Christensen, 7 goals. Lilo at 31, 7 goals, 9 assists. Dojdanovic, 11 goal contributions, worth £91 million. Our 2 DMs are worth so much money. Oh, I can't bear to move them on, though, because I think they are the real base in this team. Them DMs on support are so good. I can't face getting rid of them. But if money comes in at like £90 million, we have to do it. But very, very happy with the season. We have won the Conference League. Still no FA Cup or Carabao Cup, sadly. 4th rounded and quarter-finaled by West Brom, who are a championship side, which is so, so frustrating. Don't tell me they won the FA Cup. Did they win the FA Cup? No, I was going to... Bournemouth! Oh, for God's sake. We even got less trophy. No, we haven't actually. We got the same as them because we won the Conference League. But overall, a very good season. David Lacume, the Mauritian, now the Mauritian GOAT. 8 goals, 14 games. This guy's just going to be with us to the very end, I think. He's only 23 still. 120 games overall, 10 goals, 8 assists. I'm a big fan. Just to have someone like that come from the academy. The same goes for Kanaya Boyce as well. A 7.07, 60 games this season. And again, showing his progression. Wanted by Sheffield United, not a chance, lads. And another one the kid has come through in Eddie Hill, not Eddie Hearn or Eddie Hall is the guy I was really trying to say there. Eddie Hill, an 18-year-old, good determination, great speed, good finishing, decent composure. This guy could become our guy, to be fair. With that speed, right off the bat, he could become very good. If we need to develop him technically and mentally, he'll get there. Eddie Hill could become a really good striker in a year or two's time. But for now, it's time to turn Reading into a Europa League winning side or a top 4 Premier League side. And having all of this money is certainly going to help. £112 million in the bank, 678k in wage budget. It's cool to see we're such a financial powerhouse, but also so sad because I don't know what's happening with Reading at the moment. Another win this weekend of 1-0 in the early game on Saturday. On the edge of playoffs to get promoted to the Championship, but just not managing to sell the club. And it'll be so, so sad if they get expelled. There was a few fans in the comments down below in the first episode saying it's good to see light being shed on the situation of our club. And again, my heartfelt goes out to you guys that are dealing with this, because it is so difficult to watch a club go through what Reading are going through. I just hope it gets sorted. And I hope videos like this just help the average person who likes watching football understand things like this happen, and it's really sad, and we shouldn't let this happen. And I think it's right that with a platform, we should make videos on it and we should show what's going on. I'm not saying my video is going to be the difference to get them to see what's going on, but having more media publicity out there for Reading is always going to be a good thing when they're going through what they're going through. And hopefully it does get sorted in the next 20 days and Reading stay as a club. They're a club that I've grown fond of through creative content, and I'd like that to carry on as well. But let's get on to our Europa League season. We're lucky enough we weren't scalped. We managed to keep basically everyone from the team, which was very, very needed, because this year we are going for it all. We have made just 2 signings, and my first is Greek cam Pavlos Kenakoudias, signed from Aris, where he has just grabbed a 7.67. Yes, I said that right, 7.67. That is an unbelievable season. 17 dribbling, great flair off the ball with technique and physical stats, and he's just 22 years of age. He is an absolute superstar. My other signing is Matteo Silvetti, a rotational winger signed from Newell's Old Boys, a 7.23 average rating last year. I'm not going to go into the data because there's just 2 signings, and that is all we've done this year. To be fair, in terms of the sales, just £10 million raised. It was 5.5 for Ozan Mikovic, who we signed for 2.8. Then he get a work permit and sold. And Joel Mavuka, who we lost, 500k on? If that, 3.5. And we sold him for 3.3. So 200k on, which isn't the end of the world. Vladislav Vanyak going on another loan deal as well to Dynamo Kiev. Just never quite buying him back, but constant loan deals. I mean, to be fair, we've raised £3 million from them 2 loan deals. We only signed him for 6. So, you know, we'll take that for sure. And his value is, we'll probably get what we pay back for him, which is impressive considering he's not really shown the world what he's capable of. This season, though, is all about the Europa League. I want that Europa League trophy, and I think it's the only way we get into the Champions League. We are now 15th prediction in the league, which is much better than we have been recently, now just 400 to 1. But again, the Europa League is Newcastle, Villa, Chelsea, United and Spurs. They're the teams we're trying to chase down. And using Moneyball, that is very, very tough. Especially when you look at it on the financial scale as well, because we are spending just £58 million in terms of wages, while the big boys, I mean, even up to 7th place is £203 million. So if we are to get Europa League football via the league, or Conference League football, or Champions League like top 4, 5 times more a salary per annum. And in terms of our transfer spend, we're just 15th. So really, we are doing a very good job for even being in this position. So to expect more would just be stupid, right? Well, I'm looking to expect more, especially based on how this season has started. In our first 2 months, 3 losses and 4 wins is a positive start. The month of November was pretty decent as well, but it got into December, and that's when we really started to kick on this season. And a player that has come back from almost the depths of his career, Tony Majic, has turned into a bagsman. We won 4 games, drew 1, lost 2 in December, and then went unbeaten in January. And I can't quite believe that has happened, because we have had such a good season, and by far our best yet. If we could just keep our second half form up, it was looking like we could get into that top 7. In February, we fell off a little bit. 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses, not ideal. March, a loss and a draw. We finished the season strong. And unbeaten April, beating Brentford, Villa, drawing to Forest and beating Watford. A 4-0 loss to Manchester City, to be expected. Followed up, though, with a victory against Everton and a 3-3 draw against Fulham. Was it going to be enough to secure Europa League football for back-to-back seasons? It was more than that. We have secured Champions League, which means this is the final season for this episode. And next episode will be going on until we win the Premier League, potentially Champions League. I'm not quite sure yet. I need to go through and play through it. 67 points, though, is a fantastic points tally. A 10 goal difference, 20 wins, 11 losses, 7 draws. 67 points. Reading, top 4. I didn't know when this was going to happen, but to happen already, I am absolutely buzzing with. Again, because I showed you financially how much we're up against it and how well we're doing. In terms of goals scored, 73. Still not doing very well defensively, let's be honest. And possession-wise, neither. But we really are building this squad into an absolute powerhouse. And in terms of the goals we're scoring as well, I mentioned having 2 strikers. Tony Majic, 16. Franciliano, 28. Fidel Rivas, 29 goal contributions. David Martinez, 26. Matteo Silvetti, 22. And Pavlos Kukaniadis, 21. Our best player, Fidel Rivas. But our second, he's always there, is Kanaya Boyce Clark, who at 29 years of age is just being an absolute superstar. And my dream is for him to take us to a Champions League victory. But first, we need to concentrate on the competition at hand, the Europa League, where we finished on 22 points. Second to only Newcastle, 7 wins and a draw. Europe football, we are very good. And in the round of 16, they drew us up against Bournemouth, a club we know we're better than, and we've battered them 9-4 on aggregate. The clear team that were the best in this league was Newcastle, a team that won the league phase, and that's who we faced up in the quarter-finals. Now, the first leg was a 2-2 draw away at Newcastle. And the second leg, we got off to ended up conceding eventually the first goal, but leveled things up thanks to Rivas getting a little poke on a David Martinez shots. Franciliano then stepped up from the spot to put us a goal ahead. And in the 66th minute, Kudis found Silvetti down the right-hand side. He drives inside, and Franciliano was in the box once again for a 3-1 victory. And we beat the favourites for this competition, which means surely we're going all the way. And all the way would mean we get to face in the Wrexham Community Stadium, which is the holder for the Europa League, which is so weird. But first, the semi-finals against Real San Sebastian, a 4-3 victory. We need to just hold things tight at the Reading home stadium, or go absolutely mental and score a whole bunch of goals. That sounds like something we would do, but it does also come with conceding goals as well. Colombo scores to make this game 1-1. The first leg was 4-3. Could Wevo run away with this? Redondo, Canicaludius falls to Redondo, and my word, what a screamer into the top corner to make it 2-1 and give us a 2-goal advantage in this tie. But we're now going to run away with it. David Martinez beats his man, gets to the byline, puts it past Alex Romero, a 3-goal advantage. It's currently 7-4 in this game. Magic on the ball, Waylon Reneke, guess what? Sosa, Vanciliano in the box. 8-4 in the 88th minute. We weren't done there. We wanted another 9-4. Silvetti on the ball, brings it down, gets the byline, Sosa in the box. 5-1 in this game, 9-4 in aggregate, and Real San Sebastian have been absolutely bullied, and we're going to the final. We're in back-to-back seasons in European competitions. We're facing up against Lazio, and I'm sure after this, they're going to be absolutely sick of the sight of us. Another screamer from Redondo to make it 1-0. Academy star Pelling finding it into the box, eventually out to Lilo to find Sosa in the box to make it 2-0. And in the 90th minute, the third and final back-to-back seasons, beating Lazio, as Michael Craig is on the pitch as well, but Baranchea scoring the all-important third goal, and Reading are Europa League winners. We won the Europa League, we come fourth in the league, and it's safe to say we have rebuilt Reading to be a Champions League side. And episode 3 in the final part of this 3-part rebuild is going to be attempting to take Reading to be Champions League or Premier League winners, but to being the top of the world. Probably has to be Champions League, doesn't it? Let's be honest. That's going to be all out for next episode, though. Just to quickly finish off this episode, thank you for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure to make these Reading 2-part series, and we've had over 20 subscribers of the first episode alone in just 22 hours of it being out. So again, a reminder, if you are not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, especially if you watched the first part and the second part. I'm looking to hit 15k subs as soon as possible. Make my dreams come true and make that happen. Like the video as well. I'll speak to you next time.